Welcome to Dude on Air, the show giving you the latest and best of Hollywood. We're talking movies, TV, and everything in between. Here's your host, Gerald Yelverton. Lights, camera, action. Hey guys, welcome to Dude on Air, the show where we talk about movies, life, and everything in between. My name is Gerald Yelverton, and today we are talking about the 2014 drama mystery thriller Gone Girl. Gone Girl is written by Gillian Flynn, directed by David Fincher, and stars Ben Affleck, Rosamund Pike, Neil Patrick Harris, Tyler Perry, Carrie Coon, Kim Dickens, and Patrick Fugit. So when his wife's disappearance having become the focus of an intense media circus, a man sees the spotlight turned on him when it's suspected that he may not be innocent. We've heard so much about this movie. It was highly anticipated when it was about to come out. It premiered in movies. It was really like the first of the year as far as like really big like Oscar contenders goes, and it's easy to see why this movie is nominated for like 4 Golden Globes. It's a really good movie. I mean, it's been nominated. David Fincher is nominated for director. Rosamund Pike is nominated for Best Actress. Gillian for Best Screenplay, Best Original Score with Trent Reznor. And this was really like Rosamund Pike's film. And it was highly anticipated because this was the first film that was coming out for Ben Affleck after he was cast as, the new Batman. So yeah, this movie is it kind of plays on like your like conceptions of what happens in these stories. We see a lot of these stories where, it's this happy, like good looking couple and like, the woman goes missing or, she ends up dead, and it's like immediately like you start to think like did the husband do it? Is the husband like, the killer? And it really goes like that. There was that story, I was trying to look it up, but I can't remember the names, where I think the woman was pregnant with her child, and it was thought that like the husband did it, and like all the news anchors and stuff, like you just believe that this guy did it, and he had like, I think Mark Garagos was his lawyer, and he just like the media talked about like every aspect of him, like, oh, he didn't smile here, he doesn't look like he's hurting enough, and then he looks kind of like smug, and was he cheating on her, and like all these other things come out, but in the end you don't really know like did he or did he not do it. Kind of like the O.J. Simpson case, kind of like that. Well, this movie is about that. So Ben Affleck is married. His name's Nick Dune. He's married to Amy, who's Rosamund Pike, and it's thought that they have like this good relationship. But then you find out like they don't. They've had like these problems. He's cheating on her, all these other things, and then she goes missing. And initially, like he's trying to figure out who. What happened to her, and then all of a sudden, like a detective, Kim Dickens, and her officer Patrick Fugit, who was in that movie about the Patrick was in Almost Famous. He was a kid in Almost Famous, and now he's grown. So they are investigating the case, and then through a series of like questioning and stuff like that, Nick realizes that the investigation is on him. They're investigating him. And then it goes into like, why did he smile? Why is he smiling? Why isn't he smiling? He's cheating, things like that. So he hires Tyler Perry as his like lawyer, and he's telling him what to say and stuff like that. And then he has a sister, Carrie Coon, who does an amazing job. And so it's what happened to Amy. And then within the movie, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's been out for so long now that you probably have seen it, but then there's this whole storyline with Amy and what happened and what didn't happen, Neil Patrick Harris is like one of her ex-boyfriends, and it's just this whole like just really big. It's a really, really interesting story. That has a lot of layers, and once you think that you've reached the pinnacle of the storyline, it completely shifts and goes in another direction. It's 2.5 hours long, but it goes through, honestly, like a 90-minute movie, because it's moving so fast, and there's so many elements, and it's like peeling back the layers of an onion to get to the root, and it's, you really want to know like what's going on, and then when you figure out what happens, it's like, wow. And then the end of it, it's interesting. And you know, I'll go into it. I'll actually just go into it. So like Ben Affleck is the spoilers coming up. So if you don't want to hear it, if you haven't seen this movie yet, which has been out for a while, but if you haven't seen it yet, you like pause it, go see the movie, come back here at like 5 minutes 46 seconds in, and you know, you can follow along with us. So I'm gonna wait like 5 seconds. I'll do a 5-second countdown, and I'll go into some spoilers. Cool. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're at 6 minutes now. So come back 6 minutes, and now we're going into spoilers. So Nick Dune is the subject of the investigation for his wife Amy, who is missing, and there's all these tracks that lead back to him. You know, like what's in his garage. He didn't know anything about her, didn't know her friends, didn't know anything. And then it turns out that Rosamund Pike, Amy, actually faked her own disappearance because she found out that like Nick was cheating on her. I think he hit her at one point, and there's all these different things going on. She doesn't want to live where they live, but he went home because, you know, his parents are sick or whatever, and she doesn't like her life. So she frames him. She frames him by like faking her own death and getting friends and doing certain things that would all lead back to him being the reason she disappeared. And then she goes off on the road. She has all this money. She goes off on the road. She's staying in like this hotel, and there's other people. She befriends the woman there. The woman sees that like she's hiding something. They like beat her up. They take her money. She's on her own. She calls Neil Patrick Harris, who was like this old boyfriend that she basically used and ditched, but he's so infatuated with her. And then she doesn't like him, so then she goes and tries to like frame him for disappearance. Then she comes back. And once Ben Affleck realizes that she did this, and now he's playing a game, so now she's playing her, and it's like this happy, miserable couple. And it's all about, you know, their appearance in the media, which is interesting because Missy Pyle plays Ellen Abbott, who's like this news anchor. And I see her as kind of like she's kind of like doing a Nancy Grace impression, because, you know, Nancy Grace is, when you watch like, was it MSNBC Live or News Live, or it's one of those channels that she's on where Nancy Grace really goes after these men that she thinks like, you know, either beat or killed her wife, and they it goes down that road. It's an intense movie. This is not a movie that you're gonna go into and just like have a good time. Like there's a lot going on. It's packed with drama. And it's David Fincher, so it's like it's a beautiful movie. You know, he's done like Fight Club, Seven, Social Network, Benjamin Button. You know, he does a couple episodes of House of Cards. He's done a lot of really good movies, Panic Room, and this is another one. This is a cool movie. And Ben Affleck does a great job. Rosamund Pike, nominated for a Golden Globe and a SAG already. Neil Patrick Harris, Tyler Perry, in the scenes that he's in as Tanner Bolt, he's kind of like the Mark Garagos, where like if you're in trouble, you call this guy, and he's really good in the movie. Mary Coon plays Margot, who's Ben Affleck's sister, and she does a really good job. She's like, I would expect her to have a couple nominations for like supporting actress, because she does a great job. Kim Dickens, who plays the detective, and Patrick, who plays her officer, also do a great job. It's a good movie all the way around. Definitely go see this. And this is one of those movies you want to see with someone. That way you can go and talk about it afterwards, because there's a lot to digest in this film of who you think's innocent, who's it's people getting away with crimes. It's deep, and it really says a lot about the media and about our society today and how we assume certain things just because that's what the normal case is. It's interesting. So yeah, see it with someone, that way you can talk about what you thought, and I want to know what you thought. So go ahead and comment in the section below. Comment, let me know what you thought about it. Did you think Ben Affleck was good? What do you think about David Fincher? Did you think he was innocent? Do you think he's guilty? What do you think of Rosamund Pike and all the success that she should have after this film? And then also, guys, go ahead and subscribe. Subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, wherever you're watching this, listening to this at. That way you know when all of our new episodes come out. Like I said, this was like the first major release in the film season, and I think it's one that's going to continue on. I wouldn't be surprised. I expect Rosamund Pike to be nominated for Best Actress at the Oscars. I wouldn't be surprised if David Fincher is nominated. I expect Gone Girl to be one of the movies that is nominated. If it goes past 5 movies, which it can go up to 10 movies now, the way it is. But I definitely think this is one of the movies that's going to be represented at the Oscars, even as far as screenplay. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's my review of Gone Girl, 2.5 hours long, R-rated film, but definitely worth your time. My name's Gerald Yelverton. You can catch me at Gerald Yelverton on Twitter. And until next time, until our next episode, and I'm talking to you guys again. Be safe, and thanks for being awesome.
You've been listening to Dude on Air. For more talk on movies, TV, and everything in between, hit the subscribe button, available on YouTube, iTunes, and Stitcher Radio. For Gerald and the Dude on Air crew, thanks for being awesome.